Hello, everybody. We are back with another recipe this week. I am finally back to Baking Yesteryear. It's cooled down enough that I can continue with this. However, I am not doing the pork cake this week, which was our next recipe out of Baking Yesteryear. I will be doing that next week instead, just kind of doing a little switch. Um, Today I'm doing the Admiral's gingerbread. Um, this just took a little bit less time than the pork cake, and I do have some stuff going on a little bit later. Um, so I did kind of switch those around. I will have more time next week to focus on the pork cake. I am really excited to try that. I'm really curious about it. Um, and just want to be able to do it right. So for this week, we are making the Admiral's gingerbread, which I am also really excited about making. I do really like gingerbread. Um, I don't really make it that often. I've never made a gingerbread like this. This is a quick bread. I have done like gingerbread cakes during the holiday season before and everything. I do really like the flavor. I love getting gingerbread lattes during the holiday season and stuff like that. Um, so I am really excited to give this a try. Um, the prep does look a little bit different, which I am also curious to see how this all comes together. So let's get started. All right, so for this gingerbread, we've got some eggs here. I do have them separated as per the instructions in the cookbook. We've got salt, baking powder, flour, molasses, ginger, some powdered sugar, and some butter. And then I've got my loaf pan all greased. Um, I'm going to start by beating my butter and I will be back. Alright, so I have my butter all mixed up. We are going to add the flour, our ginger, and our molasses. And we're going to get this all mixed up together. Once I have that done, I will be back. Alright, so I got that all mixed up together. It's looking really good. It does kind of remind me of like the molasses nougat you get in the boxes of chocolate, like the Russell Stover boxes, the assorted different chocolates and everything that have got like a bunch of different flavors of candies in them. It just reminds me of the molasses chocolates in them. Just color, the kind of texture and everything. So I am really curious now to see how this turns out. Um, I am going to set this aside while we continue. The next thing I am going to do is beat the egg yolks with the salt. Once I have that done, I will be back. Alright, so I have my egg whites whisked together with the salt. We are going to add some powdered sugar to this and get this all mixed up together. Say this is kind of an odd step, so we'll see how this goes. I've never used powdered sugar in a quick bread before like this. and I've never had the eggs like separated like this either, so we'll see. It's supposed to be like a nice kind of light fluffy gingerbread, and I could see how that would definitely be possible with the steps in mixing up this batter. Um, I'm going to continue on with this, and when I have it done, I will be back. All right, so I did get that all beat up. I did beat in my baking powder as well. So now we have three different mixtures here. We've got our butter, flour, and molasses, our egg whites, and our egg yolks. So I am going to start with mixing in the egg yolks into the butter and molasses, and then the egg whites get mixed in. Once I have my egg yolks mixed into the butter and molasses, I will be back. All right, so I do have the egg yolks mixed in um, to the butter and molasses mixture. How to say it still really reminds me of the molasses nougat in the boxes of chocolates. So I am excited and really curious to see how this turns out after it's baked. Um, it has been going pretty well so far. It's looking good. It smells pretty good. It doesn't have like a strong gingerbread or molasses scent to it, but I am really curious to try it when it's all finished. So I am going to continue with mixing in my egg whites to this mixture. Once I have that done, I will be back. All right, so it is all mixed up together. I do have it in my loaf pan here. I am going to pop this in the oven. It does have to bake a while, almost an hour, which was part of the reason why I did kind of hold off on making this until it did cool down here a bit. So I'm going to get this in the oven and I will be back when it is finished. All right, so I have taken my gingerbread out of the oven. It is done baking. It looks really good. I can't wait to try it. It did raise really nice and just turned out really nice looking. After this cools, I am going to try it and I will be back with my final thoughts after I have tried it. All right, so I am back with my final thoughts for the Admiral's gingerbread. I did really enjoy this gingerbread. It was really good. Um, it had a good flavor to it, but not a super strong spice flavor. Um, the texture was great. It was nice and light. Um, and I am looking forward to making this again during the holiday season. Um, I do have to say the steps to make this were a little odd when I was making it, but it did turn out really good. Um, and definitely worth making if you have this cookbook. Like I said, I am really looking forward to making this again during the holiday season. Um, I did enjoy making this more than some of the other gingerbread recipes I've made. I've never made like an actual gingerbread, like quick bread type thing, but I've made gingerbread cake and stuff like that before. Um, I do think this bread was really easy to make, even though the steps were kind of different from typical baking steps. But I think having the egg whites beaten up did contribute to the texture. of the bread, which I did really like. I do think the bread was better the next day, like after it had set a little while, you could taste the flavors in it a little bit more than you could when it was super fresh and right out of the oven. I did try this at did initially try it after it was cooled and it was really good. And then I had a piece later on that day, and it was the second piece I had later on in the day after it had set pretty much all day was better. Like the flavors had blended a little bit more. Um, so I would recommend making this like the day before you're planning on serving it, if you're planning on serving it for like a party or something. Um, but overall, it was really good. It was really easy to make. I do recommend giving it a try if you have not already. Um, so yeah, I do think this was a really enjoyable recipe overall, and um, I will be back next week with another recipe from Baking Yesteryear. I am still going to hold off on the pork cake for a little bit yet. Um, it is cooler where I am right now, but it is still pretty hot, and that pork cake has to bake almost an hour and a half, and it's still a little bit too hot to be running the oven that long, but I am going to continue with the next recipe after the gingerbread, which is the chocolate potato cake, which I am excited about trying. It's a recipe I've always heard of, but I've never made before. So I am looking forward to finally being able to give that a try, or having an excuse to give that a try, I guess. So until next week, good times, good food. Bye.